The central processing unit, or CPU, is considered the brain of a computer. Without this vital component, the computer wouldn't be able to do any of the functions it is capable of doing. How does the CPU work?
The Central Processing Unit, CPU, is responsible for interpreting and executing most of the commands from the computer's hardware and software. A modern CPU is usually small and square with many short rounded metallic connectors on its underside. It consists of three major subsystems, which are control unit, registers, and the arithmetic and unit.
All the parts of the CPU labeled. A CPU is also called the processor, and it's the main component of the computer. The following are the main parts of the processor: the L2 cache, ALU, FPU, L1 cache, control unit, instruction unit, and the input-output. The CPU is an extremely complex part of the computer and consists of many parts and pieces. These parts work together to make the computer interpret and execute commands, enabling the computer to work. Now to the main parts of the processor: the arithmetic logic unit, the control unit, and the memory. The three main parts of a computer's central processing unit are the arithmetic logic unit, which is tasked with calculations and other mathematical issues; the control logic, which sends out control signals in order to control data flow in the computer; and the memory, which stores data that is required to keep the CPU up and running. So, how does the CPU work? How does the CPU work? The CPU sits on the motherboard as a central unit. All of the other hardware components and programs installed on the system must go through the CPU before their function can be carried out. When a function, program, or piece of data is called, the CPU pulls it from the RAM in order to process it. It then reads the instruction associated to the task before sending it back to the RAM. The CPU makes sure that the data gets to its destination in the correct order. The CPU can be thought of as a chef in a restaurant. For example, the reputation of a restaurant develops from the chef and how good the chef is. If the food is good, the restaurant develops a great reputation. This is just like the CPU. If the CPU is good in the computer is considered good. If the CPU isn't as good, the entire computer loses its so-called reputation. The CPU determines the computer's overall performance and speed.